Hello, human being, human, mortal, person, soul, Homo sapien, earthling, higher animal, living person. Welcome to part 2. In case you're inept, enjoy this greatest hits audio reel from part 1.
But what I really want to know is...
Written by Leonard!
And then I just stopped listening to Lenny Kravitz.
Nice work, stupid jerk.
That album is called Baptism, and it's the album we're discussing today. All right, we're going to work through this together.
I'm so bored.
I know. You don't even like music. And just like, you don't even know who that is.
So, Baptism. Janet Jackson's Booby.
Anyway, I don't care. Yeah. Why you got to do this to me?
Checking the correct. And Sammy?
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross! Yes!
Like, that's just awesome. I don't know. That's just awesome. But yeah, I dug this tune.
Cool.
You?
Slugnoid. Not so fast, asshole. His father is from Russia. Did you know that?
And I hope this show gets huge so that everybody knows this.
Homemade chicken nuggets?
I mean, chicken nuggets that I put in a deep fryer. You know
Come here, little buddy.
You know what I mean?
Do something fruity.
No, thank you.
But then can I do it?
Gross, you're drunk.
Maybe. But who's stopping us? Your dad?
I don't know. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Okay. What's the vibe? And Olivia Newton-John. Oh, Xanadu! Bet you miss boobs.
That's so good.
And now, enjoy number 2.
Yeah.
Flash!
Flash
is next.
Hey there. If you want to listen to this clip, you're gonna have to go download the album. If you dare. It's pretty shitty. Hence the purpose of this podcast. Anyway, back to the show.
So I remember thinking before I started really researching Lenny Kravitz, I wonder how many times I'll get to see his ass. And the answer is 3. I got to see Lenny Kravitz's ass like 3 times.
Yeah, and you can even see his junk one time.
Do you? You see the meat and two veg? For real?
I don't think it's actually been captured.
I remember seeing like pube, but I don't know if I saw the ding dang do.
No, I don't think it got captured. But I
Didn't get captured.
There was like I guess his pants ripped or something. And I think,
on stage.
yeah, I remember
What song were they playing?
reading something about that or something like
He
that.
did a move. He did like a stage move.
Yeah.
And kind of squatted down and did like a guitar thing.
Very unfortunate.
And the genitalia were swinging in the wind.
That's gotta suck.
That's gotta suck.
That's just gotta suck.
Nice, Sammy. Flash features legendary sax player David Sanborn. It's a catchy hook. The lyrics are a bit meh. You gotta have balls to use the word panache to rhyme with flash, though, so there's that.
That's pretty awesome.
Anything?
You went for it.
Anything on Flash?
Just the panache rhyme, actually.
Come on,
that's all.
that's in your notes.
That's kind of really all I had.
Here, we'll drink to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's nothing special. Yeah.
Cool, man. Very deep, Dr. Phil. Dominic Corley, 1 year ago, says, the point of my version of Chica Malas is never use steroids in muscular men dealing with body dysmorphic disorder, gay or straight.
What? I'm confused, Mikey.
Same. Louisa Teague, 1 year ago, says, don't blink.
Dead.
I don't know.
Did you have a hard time with Kravitz clips?
Absolutely, I did.
How come? Why?
So he's not funny. Like he's not. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure
he's
if
not.
I'm sure if we kicked it with him,
maybe.
He'd be witty and stuff.
Get a couple of pops
But
in
like
them.
he doesn't do anything embarrassing. Like he doesn't do a lot of dumb stuff.
All right.
All right. Or like he doesn't like Joe Elliott, man. If we could
You
just
missed him?
If we just did Leopard all the time,
Well,
Joe Elliott was just the greatest.
we can, I guess. Maybe people won't notice.
Yeah, like going through acapellas, there's no funny little moments like in between lines, like or funny ad libs again, like Joe Elliott loves to do.
Well, we got to hug and rub a dub is a pretty good acapella. That's
Yeah,
pretty,
no, I mean-
that's pretty funny.
I grabbed it. I grabbed
Was I in
it.
the same key? Probably not. We'll have to A/B it later.
Yeah, no, I grabbed and rub a dub because I mean that's pretty awesome.
Oh, it is okay.
Yeah.
Gerardo.
It's like how you did your Springsteen song and said "anywho." That's what- if you can get "anywho" or "rub a dub" in a song,
But mine's a parody.
Yeah.
See the difference. Gerardo Leva 2 years ago says, "Muy bueno." Was that Lenny?
no.
Keep calm and play soccer in your pajamas. 1 year ago says, "Play that bass, baby." Oh yeah. But he spelled bass BASE.
Dead.
Sorry.
What did I do with my life? Lennon attempt number 3. A nice sentiment, but just a boring track to me. The lyrics are quite crap. You?
Yeah, I actually have super boring in my notes. But it's interesting that someone as successful as he is, for as long as he's been, still like introspectively thinks about whether he's done life right. Like that's kind of
Right.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
for-
I've got nice sentiment in my
Yeah,
notes,
like
but
for lay people like us.
didn't exactly stick the landing though, did he?
No, unfortunately, it's not the most exciting song.
Louisa Teague, 1 year ago. I have given my whole life for the past 35 years into raising my children and caring for others. It's time for someone to care for me. No.
I couldn't remember what that button did. I'm sorry. I was just randomly hoping that would be good.
Egon Dust, 1 year ago. Sounds like Mark Bolan, T-Rex in 1972. Spaceball, Ricochet, or Ballroom of Mars. Great song.
He was excited.
What in the
about
fuck was
one.
that? And finally, Tree Hugger, 1 year
We
ago.
need more celebrities swearing on this show.
Tree Hugger, 1 year ago, says, I know what you did to mine.
Gross, you're drunk.
That was great. The next song is Storm. The third single from the record. This was written by Kravitz and a Mr. Sean Corey Carter. Mm-hmm. Okay, but there's all kinds of controversy and drama surrounding this track.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
the song was originally called Another Day and was composed, recorded, and produced by Kravitz for Michael Jackson's 2001 album Invincible. It was ultimately left off the final track list, but was rewritten and retitled Storm, a collaboration between Kravitz and Jay-Z, which is obviously featured here. Then, in 2010, after Jackson had passed away, the song ended up on the first posthumous Jackson release simply called Michael. The track, now called I Can't Make It Another Day, features Lenny Kravitz and also credits Dave Grohl
What?
as having played the drums.
Okay.
Grohl himself claimed in 2011 that he does not perform on the track.
Wow.
So according to Grohl, Lenny Kravitz asked him to play on the song, but neither Kravitz nor Michael Jackson contacted him after he had recorded his drums, and that the version that does appear on the Michael album does not feature his playing.
Okay.
So Grohl called the fact that he was credited in the album notes despite not playing on the record as not cool.
You know,
So I actually... Oh, sorry. Did you want to comment on that?
I wonder if that was just like a mix-up. Right?
Sure.
Like there's a lot of moving parts. I imagine putting out a
yeah.
Michael Jackson record.
Yeah, for sure. Grohl's a big deal.
I don't think they were trying to use his name
I don't...
to.
It very well could be.
You think so?
Yeah, very well could be.
Who cares about
But
Dave Grohl?
No, fair enough. Dave Grohl definitely took it that way.
That's interesting, though.
He is a name, regardless.
He is,
He's
absolutely.
a big star.
But-
so putting his name in the credits, he's kind of like, oh, that's not cool. That's not even me. That's sort of his way.
I
of
could
looking
see
at
how
it.
he could be like, "That's not me. Don't credit me."
If Jackson were alive still and had been in control, maybe that mistake wouldn't have happened.
yeah,
So maybe it's just because I doubt Kravitz was even involved in the making of Michael.
yeah. That's what I mean. Like it was probably
So whoever's typing it up.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Made a
Like
mistake.
I bet it was a mistake. I'm surprised he like.
But you got to confirm, man. You don't just type out
Yeah, no, totally. I mean,
liner
it's-
notes and
yeah, but I don't know. I find it hard to believe that they would think that the people who care about Dave Grohl being on a record would be enticed to buy a Michael Jackson record just because of.
well, you wouldn't know that unless you bought it and looked on the inside anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
like that just seems weird to me.
Yeah. I actually loved the Just Blaze remix more than this. I also really dug the Michael Jackson version. Did you hear that song?
I didn't hear it. No.
It's really good.
Really?
The chorus is really strong, and I always loved it when Michael would throw his voice. Like the final 2 minutes of Earth song.
Don't know it.
So the first like 4 minutes of Earth song is just this sort of, what about loneliness? What about Michael doing his thing?
okay,
And then
I
at
know
the end, it does
Yeah.
this big crescendo thing. It changes keys, and then he's screaming at the end.
Okay, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
freaking
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
I know that song.
It's amazing. He sings his ass off on that one. So it's just incredible. What a singer Michael was. A lot of attention is paid to his dancing, and rightfully so. But I always loved the way he sang.
Yeah, totally.
So check it out if you want to. I Can't Make It Another Day is featured on the album Michael in 2010, which is an offshoot of Storm.
Yeah, I mean, I liked the song, but I did definitely like the Just
Blaze
Blaze version.
Made it better. Absolutely.
And the Jay-Z Lenny Kravitz, Not Your Average. I love that. Like that dude can just rhyme anything together.
Oh my gosh. Blueprint 2? Is that Lenny's first appearance on a Jay-Z thing?
Yeah.
He played guitar on something. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's his Bono line.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a song called Guns N' Roses.
That's it. Yeah.
Produced by Heavy D, which I actually thought was pretty cool. I didn't know Heavy D did any production, but that was really cool to see. And it was a decent tune. I like the other thing I liked better about the Just Blaze version or remix or whatever.
Video was cool too.
Yeah, it was.
I
And
liked the
yeah,
video.
you see Lenny's like actually like doing the verse. But I liked, so I felt like it made more sense for Jay-Z's verse. Like it sits better in that track than in the really sparse, just kind of drums that he's singing over or rapping over.
The remix isn't on the Baptism album.
No.
So in the producer credits, if I'm looking up credits
Right, and
online, it
that's the
says
thing.
Just Blaze. So
Yeah.
he must have had a hand in something.
I guess. Yeah.
Because why would you give him a producer credit on the album if his remix is the only thing he really was involved in and it's not even on the record? Anyway,
Yeah, I guess that does make sense.
we'll go to YouTube. AO 9 months ago says, I could walk through water and not get wet. I'm that fresh.
That's right. That was a good line. That's not the best line in that verse, but it was a good line.
Jay-Z. Mr. Carl Morrow 11 months ago says, made hustlin' heaven and pimpin' art.
That's right. I got a JC laugh.
Callie Irie 2 years ago says, this was originally Michael Jackson's song. LOL. What did they do to it? Guys, look it up. It was so much better.
Bitch.
The Michael Jackson song I think is better than Storm on Baptism, but
Yeah.
not better than the Just Blaze remix.
okay.
That's my feelings anyway. I know you were asking me, and it's really it's really important what I think. The Other Side is our next track. That's right. Lennon attempt number 4. Okay, not sure what the thought process was behind 4, count them 4 ballads that are all extremely similar.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 are pretty forgettable to me, but it could be that Calling All Angels was the first one in the track list, and that's why it's memorable to me. Maybe that's why. You got O in your notes? And nod? He's nodding, guys.
So this is a tough one for me. As a guy who wanted to have the success of Lenny, to hear him questioning it all, which isn't new. I mean, often, successful people wonder if they are, living some type of real or authentic regular life or whatever. Just saying that he wants to be a simple man who has a farm and lives off the land shows maybe how disconnected he is from reality. Like no simple man owns a farm and lives off the land really in this day and age. So, I don't know, maybe in some kind of like weird hipster existence, but like not in like real life. Like we're not doing that. But when he mentions his kids, it does kind of get real, right?
Does he not
like,
just have Zoe?
Yeah, sorry. But when he says that, like, it does make me like kind of thankful. Like I never had to choose between touring and being there for myself.
Yeah, we don't know
what
what
I mean.
it's like.
Yeah.
There's also like, not every song is going to be autobiographical.
So there's a lot in this album though. There's a lot of very introspective lyrics.
I agree.
Right? So
I agree, but not every line's going to be. Sometimes, that rhymes.
Oh, you're talking about like the living on a farm?
Just in general.
Sure.
Like it could be just...
It's a metaphor for a simpler life.
And I mean, with
enough.
with the thought of like, as soon as I release it, it's somebody else's and other people are going to be able to relate to it. So if you're super, super specific about something that's you and yours, I don't think a lot of people can relate. But if you generalize more and keep your lyrics more broad, maybe you're going to reach a lot more people that can connect with it.
And you think that's what he did here?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what he did here. He wrote 4 shitty ballads. That's a lot. That's a lot of songs that sound just like that on one album.
No, I was surprised about that.
That was crazy. They had, What Did I Do With My Life? Then Storm, and then The Other Side.
Yeah.
So 2 of them are like almost back to back.
Yeah.
Louisa Teague makes another appearance. 1 year ago says, I'm still here, the queen without her king. Relay Harris 5 months ago says, good music is good music. This is my shit.
Yes.
His name is Leonard Kravitz.
I love that you clip Pete Holmes.
Yeah.
Oh, let's make it weird. Wind Whipper 1 year ago says, interesting.
I don't know why.
That was good. Destiny is the final track on Baptism.
All right.
Written by Kravitz and Lionel Richie.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all I got in my notes.
I liked it.
No, really?
Yeah, I like the approach. It was kind of nice just to hear Lenny sing a sweet little song
Yeah.
with an acoustic guitar. Just nothing crazy.
Fair enough.
Nice little sentiment.
I remember you saying something during I think it was the Leopard episode that was like, it just sounded like songwriting for songwriting's sake.
Do I talk like that? Is that what I sound like?
That was a perfect impression.
Yeah.
You know me, bro.
I mean, there's that time where you were just like,
That wasn't me. That was Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. And there are several songs actually on this record that I feel like are songs for songwriting's sake.
yeah.
And this is kind of like a gapper to me. I don't know.
I mean, to close out a very like introspective album with something like that, that's not crazy.
It's not crazy. It's not a good song though.
It's not the best song.
No, put a good song on there, and then it's like, there you go. You stuck the landing. It's my destiny. Didn't do it for me. How about you?
Like I said,
Okay.
I wasn't, I like it didn't blow me away, but it's a sweet little tune to close off a introspective album.
Yeah. It's very delicate, very like beautiful sounding. I mean, the lyrics are just okay.
And it's a nice vocal character. You don't hear a lot from him.
Calling the Angels is a song like that, and there's another one of those Lennon attempts that's sung like that. So it's on this album anyway. That sort of delicate, very on the verge of cracking or breaking is nice to hear from Lenny. It can't always be balls to the walls, right?
It's not like that sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's range.
All right. I have 3 more YouTube comments for you. 2 of them are from Teague Zionskowski. And then Louisa Teague makes a final appearance.
It's a lot of Teagues.
So it's the same Teague, though. It's not like it's Jim Teague and then Louisa Teague. Do you want me just, Michael?
Whatever you like, man.
Well, do you miss Lance? Are you sick of him?
I'm not sick of him.
I could listen to Lance all day.
If it makes sense, Lance should read it.
Oh, boy.
You
know what?
Is that too much pressure?
I don't think it would make sense to have Lance do it, so I'm going to do it.
All right.
I'm going to see if I can sell it with Lance.
Awesome.
Lenny Kravitz definitely knows how to write music from the heart and sing it from the heart. An artist above all, but our Lord.
Yo, Dad.
Yo, Dad.
Drank.
Oh, man.
Louisa Teague, 1 year ago, says, I love you. XOXOXO.
But then can I do it?
And finally,
Yes.
Teague Zionskowski, 4 years ago, says, don't you know that God is love and it is real?
I want to do something that they're going to remember.
Nope.
Amen and amen. That does it. There's our track-by-track review of Lenny Kravitz, Baptism.
Good work.
Yeah, nice work, man.
Yeah. So, you know what's really funny is right before we did this, up until we did this,
You listened to the album for the first time?
I listened to it a bunch and I remember thinking it was all right. But now, like, doing this, it was like, oh, this isn't very good.
So I remember...
That's weird.
I remember going through the entire discography and you had texted me and going like, dude, this album's not that bad.
Yeah.
And I think it probably had a lot to do with the fact that the Duran Duran exercise was harrowing.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like, oh.
Yeah.
But
I think so.
in context with Lenny Kravitz,
Yeah.
I think this is his weakest effort.
Yes.
For sure.
I think so.
So give me your point system. There was 13 tracks on this.
Yeah.
What are you giving it?
I'll give it a
You always say 2 first.
3.
You always give it a 2.
Yeah. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Why?
Yeah. So Minister Rock and Roll. Yeah. System of the Love.
Yeah. I love that song.
And the third is, I guess, sort of some of Storm. And then the other songs where I thought they were like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3. What about you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love System Mother Lover. System Mama Lover, sorry. And I liked the Just Blaze remix.
Yeah.
But it's not what's on this record. But a lot of the lyrics are pretty bad. I'm going to go into a lyric thing in a second. But the 4 attempts at the Lennon-esque type thing, like even like the sound of the drums, the delay, the reverb, everything that he was doing with the production, it was very 71, 72 Lennon.
Which he's done tons
Of course.
throughout his...
Of course.
Yeah.
4 times on the same record.
Yeah,
It's a bit like, yeesh, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it.
Yeah.
We get it. So, I agree with that.
Yeah, 3.
I agree with that.
3
So-
out of what? 13, you said?
13.
Yeah,
3 out of 13 is good. Can you give me recommendations for Lenny Kravitz? Where would you send a Lenny Kravitz virgin?
Okay, so going through his entire discography, which isn't a ton of albums for being around for 30 years. It's not... So for being around for 30 years, it's not a ton of albums. I'll always end up going back to Mama Said because that like was a special time in my life.
Cool, man.
Album. And I just think it's super strong. But the thing that made me the happiest about doing this exercise was listening to the newer things. And
Because you stopped around Fly Away.
yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely. If Fly Away happened,
American Woman
That
happened.
album. Don't get me started. So that album happened, and the first song that came on that they released was the one with what's her name in the video, Mila Jovovich. What was that song called? It was a good tune. What is it? I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
it was a good tune. And I was excited for the album. I remember reading about, he's recording If You Can't Say No. That's the song. This was his first album. 5 was his first album that he didn't record it all to tape.
That was the Pro Tools.
Yeah,
one.
he used
That's
Pro
right.
Tools for
Yep.
the first time and
remember.
everything. And so I remember thinking it was a little corny that the video had like the droney kind of things flying around. It was all like kind of sci-fi. And I was like, you don't have to go there just because he's not being all, vintage analog tape guy anymore. But anyway, I liked the song, so I was excited for it. And then Fly Away happened, and I was like, I really don't like this song. And then it blew up, and it was everywhere.
Yes.
And it was just like, okay, I really don't like this.
Proof that you can make anything a hit.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like that song?
No.
Yeah. Okay, good. And so then, American Woman came out, and I was like, what is happening right now? Like, I felt like it was like chasing hits.
Okay.
And now maybe that's a dumb thing to say
It was
because
working.
there's no reason to believe that that's going to be a huge top 40 hit.
Yeah.
So for me to think that was dumb.
There was the movie soundtrack too, Austin
Yeah,
Powers. So there's a lot behind it.
There was a lot behind it, but I like the Guess Who, so I didn't
for
think
sure.
it needed to be redone, but I remember reading about like what that did for the Guess Who, which was kind of cool.
And they asked them.
Ask him.
They asked Lenny, "Can you cover this?"
Oh, is that what happened?
And so he did.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
it,
So fair enough. But
Yeah.
anyway, at the time, not knowing any of that stuff and just being like, why are you redoing a song that doesn't need to be redone?
Yeah.
And this is like, and then it blew up again. And I was like, oh, this isn't like my Lenny. Like, it's not like,
Yeah.
the kind of,
see
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so, and then everything after that. And then I think the next thing I heard from that was again from the greatest hits, which you got to hand it to the guy. Like that song, if it's not on his greatest hits, would be a song you'd put on his greatest hits. Like it was a big tune.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good for him to be able to like pull off writing. It's not every day where they're like, hey, we're putting on a greatest hits album. We need a new song. Give it to us. And it ends up being a song that could have been on your greatest hits. Like that's,
Right.
that's a pretty cool achievement. I wasn't a huge fan of that song though.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about like the greatest hits album.
Yeah.
Is his biggest selling album.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk to you about that.
Interesting.
Because I have in my notes that I'm always a little wary.
Yeah.
When an artist's best-selling record,
Yeah.
it is a greatest hits record, like the Eagles or Mott the Hoople. Does that mean they don't have an absolutely stellar record? But when you take their strongest songs and compile them, that's a great showcase for them. Do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't, or they don't have, that artist doesn't have a Back in Black or a Dark Side of the Moon or something.
So what it could mean is that they're actually that rare kind of artist that just kind of, it's going to sound weird because he's such a huge star, but like almost like flies under the radar. So the equivalent in hip hop, I would say, is like somebody like Fabulous. So Fab has like ridiculous amount of hits, but like when you talk about like the like when you have GOAT discussions, he never comes up. When you talk about like, even when you just talk about like the greats, he never comes up. But this dude has like bona fide hits. The other thing is he's probably in his 40s, yet he can drop a song today and it'll be a hit and it'll get played on top 40 like he's a like he's a young artist.
Sure.
So like he kind of spans a ton of time, doesn't really age, and always has hits, but doesn't like have like that kind of thing that you're
The
talking
weight.
about,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
I feel like that's Lenny. Like
I agree.
hits throughout,
Yeah.
has a fan base that supports him, but yeah, for some reason it's like almost like this. I don't even want to say cult following, but like you know what I mean. It's something.
It's hard to
like
say that
It's
because
something
he's
like that.
huge.
Yeah, but it's something like that, which I actually think is dope. Like I think that's awesome. That's a really cool space to live in if you don't care about, being considered the greatest of all time
Right.
or, whatever.
Yeah.
I've never heard him talk about that. Like you hear somebody like Joe Elliott talk about like, I want us to be talked about in the same sentences as Queen and you never hear Lenny saying that. So it's like he kind of likes his space. Like he's created this life that works for him and he's just happy to be in that life. So I don't think it's a bad thing. It's an interesting thing to notice, though, like that whole greatest hits thing. Like I didn't realize, but it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you tend to feel like that's a bad thing, like a negative thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if bad, negative, those are the right words for it. I just think it's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
That a lot of people can talk about, Hotel California or any of these records, but Hotel California isn't a great record.
No.
But that song is on there.
Yeah.
The Long Road, actually, there's some great songs on there, but it's not like on par with a Thriller or Dark Side of the Moon or Back in Black. But the Eagles' greatest hits, I think, is the biggest selling album in U.S. of all time now. Not worldwide, still Thriller. I don't think anything will ever catch it. But in the U.S., the Eagles' greatest hits. And to me, it's like, what?
Yeah.
That's kind of, to me, it's just like, oh.
What's the other one that always kind of like it always goes back and forth? Is it him and Thriller?
Back in Black.
Back in Black.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Back in Black and Dark Side of the Moon are always
That's
flip-flopping as well.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Back in Black is
I think every song on that record's been on the radio.
yeah.
Even if it wasn't an official single.
Oh, really?
They play it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
so-
crazy.
Yeah. So for me, recommendations, I'm gonna go.
Oh, sorry. I
I'm
forgot
sorry.
we were talking about recommendations.
Yeah.
So
you're going with Mama Said, yeah?
Mama Said,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I loved Black and White in America, which is his third last album. The newest album, Raise Vibrations, is an amazing sounding album, front to
Some
back.
good songs on there.
That song, Low,
love
ridiculous. I could listen to
great
that
song.
every day of my life. I love that. And great video too. I don't know if you saw
Great
it.
video. Yep.
Yeah.
Who's the drummer?
That the woman
girl.
in it, I have no idea.
Because it's not Cindy Blackman.
No, it's not. Yeah, I thought that was great. But no, it's so cool. It's funny you mentioned her. We had that whole thing about like how cool is it that he's still with like those same people. But anyway, I'll let you get to your recommendations. We can keep talking about it.
I don't know if she's drumming with him still.
Okay. She was up until like a few years ago.
Yeah,
right?
she was right there. But that's
Yeah.
Carlos Santana's old lady, eh?
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Yeah, it's Santana's wife.
I did not know that.
So for me, I'm going with album number 4, Circus.
Oh, that would have been
So
a good one too. I love that album too.
So I'm a rock and roll guy. So Circus is, if you're like me, ears inclined.
Yep.
And the funk soul stuff is good, but you're not like, meh. Go for the Zeppelin-esque Circus album. Check out side A. Dude.
That's a great album.
Check out side A. Rock and Roll is Dead.
Yeah.
Circus. Beyond the Seventh Sky. Which is... Okay. I feel like Cameron Crowe listened to that song and went, I'm going to base my fictional band Stillwater off of the sound of this song.
Wow. Yeah.
It's Fever Dog. 5 years later.
Wow.
Tunnel Vision. Can't get you off of my mind. God is love.
Man.
Dude,
Yeah.
It's Circus.
That's such a great album.
it's Circus for me. And you know what?
I definitely sleep on that album, and I shouldn't. That is such a
I
good
feel
album.
like that album didn't get great reviews. A lot of what I saw,
Yeah.
it got trashed a
That's
little bit. I
That's
was
a
like,
fan
wow.
album. That's a
Yeah.
fan album. Like,
Yeah.
like real fans love.
So
that
I
album.
listened to Eddie Trunk's podcast, and he had Lenny on there, and he was promoting Raised Vibrations, but I think it was like months before the album even came out.
Oh, wow.
Low may have been dropped, but anyway, he was like, I really wanted to talk to you about my favorite record and some of your like the deep cuts that I really really love from Lenny, and Lenny's like, cool, what do you got? And he's like, Circus, and Lenny goes, I knew you were gonna say that, and he goes, because Eddie Trunk's a rock metal guy,
Okay.
and he goes, and what's your deep cut that you like so much? And he goes, Beyond the Seventh Sky. And Lenny's like, I knew you were going to say that. He's like, you got to start playing that live. But it's
awesome.
it's Craig Ross's riff, and it's just so dope. So Circus for me. Mama Said
Yeah.
from Mr. Sam. But one of my absolute favorite Kravitz tracks through this entire exercise was a song called Thrasher from NERD's 2004 album, Fly or Die.
Why do I not remember that?
Lenny plays on this song called Thrasher from NERD. You have to...
I love NERD.
Okay,
Why can't I
in 2004,
yeah.
they put out an album called Fly or Die, and the whole record is stupid good.
Yeah.
Stupid good.
Yeah.
And there's a song called Thrasher on there with Lenny. And it's a
Okay.
great song,
I gotta go back
dude.
to that. I don't know why I don't remember that.
It's really, really, really good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So, lyrics.
Lyrics. Lyrics are hard. Can we agree on that?
Lyrics aren't easy, man.
No.
That's one thing that I've always struggled with because I care. I don't want it to be just anything. So I have an article here that I won't read the entire thing.
Oh, it's this one, the one about the...
Uprocks.com.
Yeah.
Written by Stephen Hayden.
Stephen Hayter.
A year ago. Yeah. So not that old. But the headline is, Why Lenny Kravitz is Good in Spite of Being Mostly Bad. Now, that's an interesting headline. So we're doing this exercise and I wanted to read it. So it's interesting. I don't agree with some of the things this guy says.
Yeah.
But I do agree with some of the things this guy says.
Okay.
So on Friday, Lenny Kravitz released Raise Vibration, his 11th album. You're forgiven if you didn't notice. As the review in Rolling Stone declared, Lenny Kravitz lends his voice to the resistance on Raise Vibration, which is a nice way of saying, please, for the love of God, ignore this album. On the record's most overt political anthem, the earnest piano ballad Here to Love, Lenny opines that with peace in sight, no walls could separate us. We would be as one because this earth's our home. If that reads as mawkish in print, imagine what it sounds like. Exactly like a non-satirical version of Aldous Snow. That's what. Another Hunger Games thing. So he gets quite rude sometimes.
Yeah.
But here he's going with this theory called 3 beats 80. You've heard of this theory.
Yeah.
So it goes like this. Lenny Kravitz has 3 great songs. Always on the Run, It Ain't Over Till It's Over, and Are You Gonna Go My Way? I could listen to those tracks all day long. They are perfect ear candy, unrepentantly retro rock and soul that stops just short of being blatantly derivative of any specific song or artist. In each instance, Kravitz was able to create a fully realized homage to the greatest classic rock station in the world, commingling the power of Zeppelin and Hendrix with a velvety swing of Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye. I agree. I agree with all of what he said just there. Not he's only got 3 great songs, but his review of those 3 songs are right on the money. Lenny Kravitz also has 80 bad songs. Fly Away might be the worst song ever written. Quote, I wish that I could fly into the sky so very high, just like a dragonfly.
Yeah.
And obviously his interminable, bombastic cover of American Woman. I could go on for at least another 78 tracks, but you get the idea. So I think it's interesting, this article, this 3 beats 80. So he's got 3 absolutely classic songs and 80 or 77 or whatever that are, Now, I don't agree with that because side A of Circus is freaking flawless, but it's interesting. I kind of think that a lot of Lenny Kravitz songs start off really cool and then just meh, and they don't go anywhere. And there's no real like, oh man, that started off really cool, or it had a cool part, cool groove, cool beat, and then it's forgettable by the end of it.
So I read that article.
You did read it, okay.
Yeah, and I felt like... So it was well written, and I felt like the guy...
Some of it's being super disrespectful, though.
Yeah, and so that's the part that like really bugged me. Actually, so here's the thing. I feel like that was an exercise in writing. Like that I felt like that was a writer saying like, oh, I've got this cool concept, this 3 beats 80 concept. And so that's all it was. Like, it doesn't make sense because even in it, he says things like, you know, okay, he's got more than 83 songs, but you get what I mean. And it's like, no. You're using this as an exercise just to write. He's just wanking.
But that's what writers do.
Yes. No. But you know what I mean? Like, he's just kind of like, it's not factual. Like, it's not real. He's just, he's just stringing together a bunch of thoughts and okay, like, all right. But no, he obviously has more than 3 good songs. Of
course.
And to say like, you know what? Write the exact same article and just say like, Stairway, Whole Lot of Love, and Cashmere, and the rest are whatever. Like, no, they're not. Well, they're not whatever.
You don't do that because it's Zeppelin.
But I'm saying they're not whatever. Like obviously he has more than 3 songs, and name any band and that's been along for 30 years. And they're not.
No, and I'm not going to defend the guy.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that he was saying, I know that there's more than 80 songs,
Mm-hmm.
but in this exercise of me listening to everything Lenny Kravitz did, there's a lot of crap. There was a lot of songs that I was just like,
I feel like you could do that with any band, though.
not Zeppelin. Easy. You use Zeppelin as an example, so that's why I'm using Zeppelin as an example.
All right, fair enough. But I feel like there's tons of bands that we consider classic, amazing bands that you could go through and just be like,
They've
like-
got 3 songs?
yeah.
Really?
I mean, if you're using his thing where you say he doesn't mean 3 songs, or if he does, he's a fool. But
Okay. So
if he means the majority of their songs aren't like these handful or 2 handfuls of amazing songs, okay, everybody's going to be like that.
Right.
Like, that's not a crazy thing to think.
Right.
But he wrote it well, so it's very convincing. So that's why I say it's an exercise in,
but-
in writing on a concept.
But I listened to all of Lenny Kravitz's material,
yeah.
and I agreed with some of the things that he said in the article. Like, there's a lot of songs that are just like, wow. Like, Lenny, like, for me, with the exception of Circus, he has a lot of albums that has 2 or 3 really great songs, and then the rest are just like,
Throwaway?
I don't know. I feel like Lenny's Lenny, and that's I don't know. I don't know. He's so ridiculously talented and can play any instrument, and there's a lot, like his lyrics in particular. Like, there was at least 3 times where my 15-year-old daughter walked into the office while I was listening, and she was like, "Is this still Lenny Kravitz?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "That's a bad lyric."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yep."
Yeah.
3 separate songs, 3 different, just random times. He's got a lot of garbage lyrics. A lot of the sentiment and his heart being in the right place is always there. He's from 1989. He's always let love, like he's always had that
consistent,
that thing. But he can write it in such a sort of, I don't know the word I'm looking for, because I don't want to insult Lenny Kravitz. He's great, and I love Lenny Kravitz. But there's a lot of like just garbage lyrics. Just a lot of like, you said that in the most, you could have been a lot deeper than that, or said it in a newer way.
Yeah.
But the sort of like on his new album, that Here to Love, is just, it's a horrible and dated lyric, not the sentiment.
Yeah.
The lyric is, and he's always been about love and peace. All that stuff is great, but sometimes he writes about it in a very eye-rolling manner.
Yeah. And I can see that. Totally.
That's all I was trying to, in a
Absolutely.
roundabout way, get
Absolutely,
to it.
yeah.
That 3 beats 80, no, of course not.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, all right, he's got a lot more than those 3 great songs.
Yeah.
Those 3 that he mentioned are fucking amazing songs.
Yeah.
But he does have I think his weaker material outweighs the better material. And I wouldn't say that for a Zeppelin, and I wouldn't say that for the Beatles.
Right.
They have some not good songs too, but the great stuff far outweighs that. I don't know about that. I think the meh stuff outweighs the really great Lenny Kravitz stuff, to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know, but you don't agree?
No.
No?
Because I feel like
Almost every album to you is like, wow, yeah.
I feel
I
like,
felt like there was a lot of gappers.
there's gappers, but I feel like there's like, so black and white in America, it felt like really cohesive. It felt really like there was like a vibe on each one of those songs that I could really, like, I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable all the way through. Mama Said, enjoyable all the way through. Circus, enjoyable all the way through. Like, that's why, like, to me, I feel like he's an album guy. So it's funny you say that. You're basically saying, like, yeah, his albums are weak.
I don't think so. I think he's a song guy.
Like,
I don't agree with that at all.
yeah, I think he's an album guy, because I don't think there's enough.
I think Circus was the last album he made. I think the first 4 are like, holy crap.
I think
And
like
then 5 on were like, there were great songs.
yeah,
But
except
albums-
I feel like I kind of like the space he's in right now, where there aren't like big hits on the last 3 albums, but like I can listen to those albums and be like, yeah, I like this. Like,
Yeah.
I like this.
So this will lead me into my next thing I want to tackle with you. So listening to a lot of interviews with Lenny Kravitz, he prefers to not work on the songwriting. So he likes to dream things or let things flow naturally, as opposed to molding and crafting a song. So that definitely explains like the loose sort of feel of his records. no overproduction, right? However, I'd be interested to hear the results of a Lenny Kravitz record that has been molded and crafted and worked really hard on. Not that he doesn't work hard on his records, right? But the writing part is something that he doesn't like to work on. He wants the ideas to just flow on their own, which is very cool, but sometimes can result in like directionless material to me.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's
I see that
in a roundabout trying to make my point about a lot of songs are just like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess for me, like I can get by on like on vibe, and
Oh, really?
right, and
Okay.
so that's why. So I got you.
Yeah. Like so many songs started out so cool, vibe, the beat. Like he's so talented. And then he opens his mouth. And it's like, well, that's a stupid thing to say. Or the lyric just isn't, Lenny,
that's
like,
interesting.
I don't know, maybe could use a lyric producer, somebody to sort of help him with the words. To me, sometimes it's like super cheesy and surfacey lyrics, the believe in yourself kind of stuff. That's like, okay, yeah, believe in yourself, but is there a cooler way to say that? Is there a better way to say it? Because you've said it a lot. Is there a different kind of way? He's not breaking down any lyrical sort of boundaries or barriers. He's not pushing himself there sound-wise. Like when you think about the Strut album, that disco record, which I loved.
Yeah.
I loved that record. But, some of the lyrics are pretty...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's actually interesting, and I think I probably do that a lot. Where
That's cool. That's
you go to different artists for different things.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Right. So
I wish I was more like that because I think I would probably have a better time.
yeah.
There's bands or songs that I listen to, whether it's the radio or whatever, that I can get kind of like bummed out because of a lyric. I'll just be like, well, I can't listen to this. That's such a stupid thing to say, or that's such a wah and a or I'll skip it. And Lenny Kravitz definitely had moments where I skipped that song because it's just like, oh gosh, I was digging what it was doing, and then you did that.
Yeah. No, I can totally see that.
So I absolutely adore all of the Zeppelin on the early records, all that Zeppelin influence, almost all the way through his catalog. Very Zeppelin-esque. You can tell that Craig Ross is a big Page guy.
Yeah.
So it makes so much sense that he was invited to that Kennedy's honors thing. Did you watch Whole Lot of Love?
Oh yeah. That's right.
Oh my gosh,
That was cool. Yeah.
It was so cool. And I mean, Jimmy Page is sitting right there watching.
That's got to be cool for
and
him.
Craig Ross,
just ripping.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to take a minute, unless you had anything to expound upon, any of the lyrics, anything like that. Just a Lenny defender through and through.
I'm kind of a Lenny defender. Yeah.
Okay, I knew you were going to be. I knew you were going to be.
Tell me why.
Because it's been like a few weeks of doing the Lenny Kravitz thing.
Yeah.
And I've had my issues with him, lyrically especially.
Yeah.
And, just discussing with my wife and my daughter and stuff. And I'm like, I got a feeling I'm going to go in there with issues. And he's going to be like, nope. And she's like, yeah, probably. And I'm like, yeah. I just feel like...
What?
I just knew it. I don't know why.
I'm pretty critical.
Yeah. I feel like I knew you were going to be like, nope, Lenny. No, it's Lenny. It's like,
that's really funny because
he's crazy good looking. He's insanely good looking and has everything. Like, I feel like,
and that's influencing me.
well, no. What I'm saying is that I think God spent like some extra time on Lenny. Like the guy, that's pretty awesome. And I mean, just reading
really
about
funny.
like his childhood and everything like that,
Yeah.
and growing up around the people and the peers that he grew up with,
Yeah.
went to school with Saul Hudson and everything. Like, it's pretty. He's had kind of an unbroken boulevard of green lights. Like, if he was,
I love that.
if he was like
man.
destined to do
Okay, so
something
listen to
because
me,
he was
listen to
just
me.
in it.
Listen to me. I have a whole thing about that I was thinking about as I was trying to come up. My intro was completely different before because I was
interesting.
thinking along those lines. Okay. And it was gonna go like a whole sort of like, what do we want our rock stars to be? Like, what do we think of?
That they struggled and fought for
Do
it.
you
or?
do you like it more where it's like Tommy and Gina and like, this guy came out of nowhere, like we're gonna, make this happen? Or is it more along the lines of like a Slash or a Julian Casablancas from the Strokes or
Springsteen.
Springsteen. Not Springsteen. You know what I mean? Like people who like their parents were like,
I see what you mean.
fashion moguls or
I see what you
in
mean.
Hollywood or in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
industry or whatever. Like to me,
I don't think Slash's mom helped Guns N' Roses.
I actually have no idea.
I don't think
all
so.
I know is that from the little couple of things I've heard about his upbringing, like he didn't have like a normal upbringing. No. So it's like that produces a different kind of person.
Sure.
That like, maybe does have more of a lane into this crazy rock star.
I like this.
world.
I like this avenue. Keep going.
So it's like, but then when that happens, do we just say like, oh, well, they had it from, the start, like they were born into this, or they had it easy or whatever. And like, does that affect it negatively?
Does it affect
the art? Does it affect their art negatively that maybe they weren't just some, forced suburban kids from Nowheresville who made it or wherever, like, but I don't know. I go back and forth on it because I do love that the stories of like the kids in the garage,
Sure,
who make it out of like some, Midwestern town or whatever. But then there's something to be said about these guys like Julian Casablancas. Like when you think about like how influential the Strokes were in their day, and to think that like Julian Casablancas, so his dad is this big fashion mogul. I think the bass player he like grows up with since he's 6, but then like he gets sent away to like some boarding school in, I don't know, Switzerland or something. And he meets Albert Hammond Jr. there. And then they come back to New York and start a band. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a crazy life. Yep. But then it's like, oh, it makes sense that they became this really important band out of that. It's like,
see, reading Lenny Kravitz's story, I would say it makes sense that he became what he became.
yeah, that's what I mean. And but
so to me, there's like a hunger that's missing from his lyrics.
Except he also left home when he was a teenager, did he not? And like actually had to, because he had a bit of a row with his parents about like him wanting to pursue music because he was still in high school. He left high school.
I don't recall.
Yeah, like he left high school. He was like living on friends' couches and stuff. Like, so he comes from, obviously some his pedigree is in the arts and entertainment, but he still had to kind of work for it in that sense. And okay, here's more. Me, I guess I'm a Lenny defender.
You are.
So you've got this. This guy had to spend his entire life with this sort of duality, right? So you've got the white and black.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Christian, Jewish, even like New York, LA, a black man in a now a predominantly white art form with a predominantly white fan base. Like you have, like he's always been like
female fan base,
pulling at both ends, pulling at both ends.
Sure.
And again, that's gotta affect you. That's gotta do something to you as well. Like it's just another layer of like, things that you're trying to work out in your life and subsequently in your art. Yeah. And then you throw on top of that the whole like one-man band thing. So, I'm always going to love a Stevie Wonder or a Prince or that guy who's just like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it all. Yeah. And, things are going to suffer. So Stevie Wonder had a guy writing lyrics, like a songwriting partner. You know what I mean? Lenny doesn't have that. So you're going to get, something's got to give. Yeah. Something's got to give in all that when you're doing all of that stuff. But I think there's something that he said about something about his upbringing, something about his personal makeup, and then there's something about his songwriting process, production process. All of that together gives you this really different kind of artist that I love. Like I really appreciate it.
I'm not going after the artists. I'm going after the songs, man. That's all I was going after. That's it. I was going after his lyrical prowess, which is very weak, dude. Like a lot of Lenny Kravitz lyrics they're just bad. They're just bad lyrics. And I feel like
so what do you think?
There's like a hunger, a depth that's missing there. Like the stories I have read and watched the behind the music and listened to interviews and stuff, it was a lot of like mom's on the Jeffersons and dad is in the industry as well. Yeah. And, he has a friend who is on Lisa Bonet's Bill Cosby Show spinoff show, A Different World, and he persuades him, hey, I need you to be my agent, my management. And within less than a month, he had 4 labels in a bidding war over Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, that's awesome. Good, like, great. That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
Like, the Beatles got turned down by everybody. There was like 42 letters that were just turning him down.
Okay. And then what does he do though? He puts out a record that doesn't sound like anything that's out there.
Yeah.
That and he's constantly fighting against sort of like the major
Sure.
trends and
It
stuff.
It did okay.
So-
It charted, and he ends up on a tour like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. He's doing all these things. It's been a blessed life, Sammy. It's been pretty good for him. So I guess my artists are the guys or the girls that are writing a lyric that is just, there's this depth to this struggle, whether it's a broken childhood or whether it's abuse or whether it's addictions or something like that. If Lenny, I don't know, he just doesn't have the depth lyrically that really catches me out. And every now and then there's a lyric that I'm like, that's good. That's a good line. That's a good line, man. I went through his whole discography, and to me, there's more lyrical nonsense than there was really good, deep stuff that gave me an insight into who this man is and what he really thinks.
Yeah, I wonder.
Hashtag stop racism, of course.
Yeah.
But he wrote it in a we are the world type of way. It's like, dude, there's a deeper lyric there that he's not quite nailing.
I wonder if it has something though, really to do with maybe how in love he is with the sort of song creation process, production process. You know, he's excited about what the drums.
It goes
are doing.
quick too.
He's excited about what the guitars are doing.
Now he had mentioned in an interview that it might take him a year, 18 months to write the album because he doesn't write. He wants to dream it. He wants it to come to him, which is a gift. Like, that's God. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And he writes a lot about that. He always giving credit to the Almighty, which is awesome. But that also means that, I don't know.
Pursue some excellence in your lyrics as well.
Maybe.
Is what you're saying.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, I don't mean,
enough.
I'm not bashing the guy.
Yeah.
So, but
that would be a cool thing because it's kind of like, okay, so we do this a lot on this show. We come up with, great suggestions for artists. Maybe that's the one for Lenny. It's like, Lenny, you got the instrumentation down.
he can put an album together very quickly.
Take a year out
Yeah.
and just write.
Really work
write
on
in
those
a
lyrics.
journal or something.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
write,
yeah.
maybe.
I kind of want to hear something from an angry place. I want to hear something from an ecclesiastical place from him. All is vapor. It's all worth, that kind of thing. There's something that maybe I'd like to hear from him that is a bit edgy and a bit, and I love the love and peace stuff. All that stuff's great, but you've done it. You've done it since 1989.
Yeah.
You've always written that lyric, and it still hasn't changed on Raised Vibrations. But hey, if you have nothing else to add, I wanted to drool all over somebody if I can. Did you have more?
No.
I don't want to keep going on and on about.
Yeah,
the
no,
same
that's
sort
cool. Are we doing?
I'm the boss.
Is that where we're going?
I wanted to take an opportunity to drool over Gail and Dorsey if I could.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm 16.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
It's 96, 97. I'm in high school.
Yeah.
And I see David Bowie perform on Conan O'Brien, and he plays "I'm Afraid of Americans" from the Earthling record.
Yeah. This one he did with what's his name? With Trent Reznor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't take my eyes off of this bass player.
Yeah.
I'm mesmerized by her. And David Bowie is the coolest guy to stare at. And I can't take my eyes off this bass player.
Yeah.
I'm 16 years old and I still remember it. And I've actually recently found it on YouTube.
Oh, that's awesome.
That video. And the same thing happened. I'm like, I'm not gonna, and I just look over to the
That's
right
pretty
hand
funny.
side and I just staring at her.
That's funny.
So no YouTube, no Google at the time.
Yeah.
I went years not knowing that this was Gail Ann Dorsey.
Yeah.
She's absolutely the perfect bass player. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. She's just an incredible talent. So she sings Mercury's parts on Under Pressure, and it still catches me out every time I hear it.
really?
I have the reality DVD at home.
Okay.
And after Bowie passed, I put that on like over and over and over again. And I remember sitting in my basement just weeping.
Wow.
And every time Under Pressure came on, I'm almost going to cry now just thinking about it.
Wow.
And she sings Mercury's parts. Dude, I'm going to go. It always catches me out.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So I just wanted to kind of give her a shout out because she's with Lenny now. So after Bowie passed, she went with Lenny and she's been with him ever since. So Gail Ann Dorsey, Craig Ross, we already gave him a good shout out.
Craig Ross.
Oh, Craig Ross. So he shows up on Are You Gonna Go My Way and has stayed with him ever since.
I love that so much. Dude, I love that so. As being somebody who's couldn't keep his band together, man, do I love.
Well, neither of us could.
No, man, do I love when
it's because we're so controlling.
No, we're
because we have vision, you bish. Step if you don't like it. So here's a frustrating part though that I had.
Yeah.
I watched a Lenny Kravitz video and I think it was called I'll Be Waiting or something.
Okay.
And the video it's shot in black and white and it's just him in the studio. Quick cuts, him playing all the instruments, which I love seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
He's so capable at everything, unlike a Lil Wayne. So, but the one other person in this video is Craig Ross.
Yeah.
And the rhythm guitar parts on his Les Paul aren't really much. So I'm waiting for the middle eight. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, because he's in the video, Craig Ross is gonna. It cuts to the guitar solo, and it's Lenny.
Yeah.
Sitting there, and he plays like a 2-note little melody thing, and then it goes back to the chorus. I'm like, that's it. Why is Craig Ross even in your video, dick? I was so pissed.
Because that's his boy.
I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I was just like, how do you not?
Yeah.
Okay, the next Lenny Kravitz album, don't worry about the music, because Craig Ross is going to write all of the badass riffs.
Yeah.
And you're going to work on lyrics the whole time.
All right, that's our suggestion.
Come on, Lenny.
Yeah. Come on, Lenny. We know you're listening.
You don't agree, do you? Come on, man.
That's okay. No, I do agree that he could step that part of his game up.
Okay.
That's fair.
Craig Ross.
Craig Ross.
We need a guitar album again.
Yeah.
Give me another Circus.
Yeah.
I miss that sound. He was so good at it.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really done that in a while.
I mean, I'm sure he got pretty annoyed with all of the comparisons and so just kept it moving, maybe. I know. He still gets them.
The critics are so unfair to this guy.
I know. It's ridiculous.
I don't understand it.
It's ridiculous.
I don't understand it. That article that I did read excerpts from, there's moments that I agree with it.
Yeah.
But by and large, that guy's just being a derp.
Yeah, and I wonder, is it laziness? Is it, one person says derivative or one person says retro or whatever? Or is it just they just can't get over? Because lots of people have used that same reverb, piano ballad approach.
So what was the problem with that, though? How come he comes out with Let Love Rule and it's retro and a throwback and there's a problem with it?
Yeah.
Because you could say, well, it's 1989 and Appetite for Destruction just came out and this came out and that came out. So that was just meh. It's like, no. He kept doing that and has kind of done that through his career.
Yeah.
And the critiques are the same.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing that kills
Why are they
me.
like, okay, this guy's like a legend at this point.
Yeah.
Why don't you just...
Yeah, just let it go, man. That actually is him. Like I mentioned in the intro, like I hate when they're like, "Oh yeah, we know your influences, but what do you sound like?"
Right. So what is that from? Why are they doing that? What's the problem?
I don't know.
Jealousy? Is it racism? What's the problem? What is the problem?
I don't know.
At this point, how are you not just like, okay?
Because like at some point, like Oasis came out, like, yeah, we're big Beatle fans. Like things are gonna sound like the Beatles. Deal with it, and people were like, cool.
Greta Van Fleet were like, we love Bob Dylan, and it's clear that they do. No? Is that...
I don't even have it. I finally deleted it.
You don't have that drop for that putz?
I don't have it.
Boy.
Yeah, I got rid of it.
So,
yeah.
Anything else in your notes? I kind of went through a lot of what I wanted to make sure that we gave Craig Ross a shout out. I wanted to make sure that Gail Ann Dorsey gets some love. She is phenomenal. And I just wanted to touch on the lyric thing, closing thoughts.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, closing thoughts, I'm really, really glad we did Lenny for this one because
it was fun, wasn't
it was fun to go through his entire catalog.
His post-5 stuff. Eh?
Yeah.
The stuff that you stopped listening.
That was huge for me because I wouldn't have listened to it otherwise.
Did you like Dig In? I like that song.
Yeah, it was a good.
Okay,
tune.
cool.
Yeah.
I was afraid you were like, meh.
No, it was a good tune.
There was a couple of songs during this exercise that I woke up with in my head. Dig In was one of them.
Yeah, Low was one.
Low
for
was
me.
a big one.
Yeah.
And Sex was one
okay.
that really, I was like, I can't get the song out of my
Right.
head.
Yeah.
And it's Ross's, his riff.
Yeah.
That ding, 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 that disco thing. I was just like, why do I love this?
Yeah, no,
I love it so much.
Yeah, it was great. And I mean, in contrast, like you mentioned before, to the Duran Duran exercise, which was very tough. That was very tough, man. Like I struggled the entire time with Duran Duran.
Yeah.
And here's one thing though that I did notice similarity was the consistency. So the thing I loved about Duran Duran was that they were guys who had an aesthetic and had an approach to themselves and kept that going from teens into their 60s. Like
How is that similar to Lenny?
Lenny, like you said, you know, from 89.
Oh, that yeah,
Peace
yeah.
and Love, like his whole aesthetic,
I feel like
his
style
whole
and like he's reinventing
Oh,
his
yeah.
look all the time.
That's
Baptism being one of the main.
okay.
things
But
that he did
here's
where he
another thing
straightened his
too,
hair.
though, is that like that kind of care and consideration of his look.
Sure.
He's kept that going the entire time too. He didn't
Yeah.
like hit a phase where all of a sudden he's like got a dad bod and he just let himself go or something.
No,
like,
he doesn't.
No, you know what I mean? Like he's kept that same energy all the way through. And I dig that. Like I
Yeah.
love people who just have that self-awareness.
Sure.
And they're just like, I'm gonna do this. And it doesn't matter, you know, to them. And the world has to work around them. And I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's inspiring.
Cool. What are you currently listening to, Sammy, other than Lenny Kravitz?
Oh man.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, please.
So something big happened to me. By the time this comes out, it's going to be old news. Crap. Okay, but something big happened in the last like 2 weeks. Billy Talent put out a new song, which you didn't listen to. I sent it to you, but you didn't listen to it.
No, I didn't get a chance.
Now, Billy Talent are my all-time favorite band.
I can't believe
I know,
that.
and they never used to be.
I've heard
and-
one song from that band.
I know. Yeah, I never used to like them. I used to call them Billy No Talent.
Wow.
I was a dick.
Wow.
And then I heard their third album and then their Dead Silence album, and I really started to listen to Ian DeSaw, who is their guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is arguably the most original, inventive guitar player in the industry. Watching him,
That's a big statement.
Watching him play, and I mean, if all you've heard is one song, take my word for it. This guy.
I'm going to look it up. I'm definitely going to look it up.
Is a genius. He's a genius. So I've been waiting since 2015. Afraid of Heights was their last record. It was my oldest boy, my oldest daughter's first concert they ever went to. Took him to go see Billy Talent. And they put out a new song called Forgiveness Part 1 and Part 2. So the first half of this song is sort of your classic Billy Talent. And the second half goes into this like Pink Floyd-esque, super sweeping, like there's a horn section, there's a sax solo, like this whole thing that Billy Talent don't do and aren't known for. And it's perfection and it's gorgeous. And I just thought, if anybody out there, get anything for Billy Talent, even just to listen to Ian DeSaw's guitar playing. Because to me, when they came out, I didn't like Ben's voice.
Yeah.
That screamo type thing. I didn't like it.
Does he
And-
still do that? Is that
well, with
approach
age,
now?
he doesn't.
Okay.
He can't anymore. You mean you get older and you don't really have that in your bag of tricks anymore. So,
Right.
Ironically, on the new song, there is a bit of a scream on there, but not like a tasteful one.
Can he sing? Is he a good singer?
He's a great singer.
Yeah.
I think he's really grown
Nice.
into a great singer. That nasally, whiny screamo thing that he was, that was why I didn't like them.
Yeah.
Ian DeSaw always had these great riffs that because with bands, music, artists, everybody, I always get lured in by the voice. That singer always makes me want to listen to it more. So Ben's voice, I didn't like it. So, but by the time the third album came out, which they did with Brendan O'Brien, they had stuff like Rusted from the Rain and Devil on My Shoulder. And he's lost a bit of a step with range and things. So he's become kind of a great singer. And so the new song is called Forgiveness Part 1 and Part 2. I recommend you check it out.
I will.
It's phenomenal. I'll have to play it for you, man. It's a great song. And just listening to his guitar playing, like a lot of guitar players in the industry, some big names and stuff, cite this guy. And they say like, this kid. And he's not a kid anymore. He's like in his 40s now. But I mean, he is just a phenomenal guitar player. Whole band is phenomenal. But his guitar riffs are the most original, unique thing you'll ever hear.
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. How about you?
I've been listening to a lot of Deadmau5, dance music producer, Canadian guy. So I've been really enjoying that. Yeah, stuff along those lines.
And ignoring My Billy Talent Link. It's her new song.
Yeah,
You big dumb dick.
I know. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm gonna listen to it though. I'm actually excited to listen to it.
Well, yeah, look how pumped I am.
Yeah,
I'm your boy.
No, and that's
Why
a big
wouldn't you
deal.
wanna be-
No, and when you call this guy a genius to my face, I'm just kidding.
You should. You should
Yeah, I'm
really
going to.
pay attention to his guitar playing. We did it. Lenny Kravitz.
Yes, Lenny.
Baptism.
And that's the end of season 2.
That's the end of season 2.
And I think this was a good season. I liked it, and it
was fun.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going, and and yeah, we're excited. We're happy.
We appreciate you guys joining us. We're having a blast. We hope you are too. Please like and share and do all the things that you know you're supposed to do. We love you. May God bless you and keep you.
Until next time.
Till the next time.
You have recently enjoyed a Check the Credits podcast, a program I can only assume you've enjoyed on a radio receiver that would have been at your disposal. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And I have no idea what any of that means because I'm a broadcaster guy from the 1920s. Thank you, and good night.